Hello guys, Will Hodgson here, again from 4 Point Solutions. And today I actually want to share something pretty personal with all of you gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen watching this actual video. So I actually left the UK back in 2017 to go to the University of Amsterdam to leave the United Kingdom and move to the Netherlands. Now this is actually quite a long time before the noise about higher corporate taxes, the scrapping of the non-dom regime that's essentially ruined the UK when they scrapped out with the Labour government, the potential exit and wealth taxes they're looking at introducing, and people thought I was being overly cautious, and some even said I'm crazy, why would you leave London to go to Amsterdam at the time? But now we can see what's actually happened here. But I saw exactly the direction of the UK. Firstly, with from a personal lifestyle there, it's not very healthy. The music, the crime, the lack of actual entrepreneurship. From what I actually noticed, a lot of entrepreneurs there, but they were all also leaving. This is before the Dubai hype. The Dubai hype was still there, but it was actually before that. So I saw the actual shift in policy. The attacking of entrepreneurs and wealth creation, and then obviously I made the choice. I don't want to study in the UK. I'm not paying 10 grand a year for these shit universities, essentially, and going into student debt when I can go pay €2,000 a year over in the Netherlands. Back up in the UK was then within the European Economic Union. So since then, I've lived and worked in multiple countries, built companies across borders, and advised clients on how to protect their assets internationally. And today, actually, I'm going to be explaining why I left the UK early, where I lived and what I've learned, why now is probably the most dangerous time to still be in the UK if you are an entrepreneur and a UK resident, and finally, what you can actually do about it, including how my firm, 4 Point Solutions, FPS Services, FPS Financial Group, Solid Light Capital, all of these companies can actually help you make this transition effectively and safely, essentially. So when I actually moved in 2017, the UK was actually pretty still competitive, right? Corporate tax was at 19%. And I did actually move back to the UK to work for 3 banks, don't forget, but only for a short period of time. If you look on my LinkedIn, you will actually see this here. Now, the non-dom regime was still attracting global wealth back in 2017. There was no exit tax as well. And there was a clear, logical tax system compared to like the US or some other, overly complex jurisdictions, right? So on paper, the UK looks still really, really strong. We just had Brexit, but I knew it essentially would not last, There's a political storm that was actually brewing, Brexit uncertainty of how the transition was actually going to take place, increasing resentment towards the rich, I would say, and discussions around new forms of taxation. I realised, I don't want to be studying in the UK. I would definitely want to be owning businesses when I'm older, which I currently now do. And, my options would be shrinking if I remained in the UK. The only good thing that the UK was for was actually gaining that banking experience when I went back in 2022 for 2 to 3 months to work at 3 different fintech companies. That was Interpoly Money, Corpay, and Balance Group, which you can see publicly on my LinkedIn. So I left early, not because I hated the UK. I actually love the UK. I love the British mindset. I love the British work ethic. I love the British countryside, as well as I love parts of London as well. But essentially, I wanted a lot more freedom, and freedom to build internationally, to structure my life and business without being trapped by rules that are clearly going to tighten, as we've seen right now, 2025. So leaving the UK gave me something priceless, and that was actually options, right? Since then, I've lived in Switzerland, Mexico, Thailand, Gibraltar, and a few other countries as well, right? And now obviously here in Dubai. Now, am I a big fan of Dubai? No, but it works for me, right? So each move wasn't essentially random. It was like a strategy at play. It taught me about the residency actual programs, banking systems, a huge network internationally, structuring tools, and how different jurisdictions actually treat wealth, right? That experience now feeds directly into work that I give, to 4 Point Solutions. So essentially, we help clients design international strategies to achieve the same kind of freedom. So fast forward today, the UK has gone from being one of the most attractive tax regimes in Europe to one of the least attractive for wealth on the planet. Corporate tax has changed from 19 to 25%. Non-dom actual regime has been scrapped because that single choice has triggered thousands. If you look at the actual, I think it was on the Healy and Partners, the figures of the UK losing for how small of a country it is, the figures of entrepreneurs that have left the actual kingdom is unbelievable. And that's, really taking effect. Businesses do not want to be there at the end of the day. So now is the exit tax threat, which is a serious political momentum behind introducing a tax exit, right? Meaning if you build wealth in the UK and then leave, you'll face a huge tax bill on the assets that you haven't even sold. So wealth tax movement perhaps is the most concerning of all. And there's now a push to introduce this. I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with the tax politics over the UK, as I do myself, but this isn't just about taxing income, it's about taxing the value of your assets year after year, property, shares, businesses. And that combination with higher corporate taxes, no non-dom, a looming exit tax, wealth tax pressure is why thousands and thousands and tens and tens of thousands every year of actual millionaires, entrepreneurs, investors, billionaires, wealthy families are leaving the UK. I don't know who is behind this agenda. If I was running a country, which I would never do because I would never want to be involved in politics, but it's just quite frankly ridiculous, as I'm sure you actually agree if you've already left the UK or if you're watching this video because you're thinking about leaving the UK. So this isn't just about paying a few percent, and gaining in taxation. The real danger is actually the exit tax traps you. You might think you can leave the UK later when things get bad, but if the rules change, you could face a crippling tax bill the day you try to move. And the actual wealth tax can destroy you. Governments openly admit they want to make assets cheaper so normal people can afford them, which means your London property, your shares, your investments could deliberately actually lose value. So business climate is also declining as well. As an investor, business owner, I can say this myself, staying in the UK would mean watching your wealth erode faster than you can ever grow it. That's a simple fact, So what you can actually do is there is some good news, right? You're not trapped yet, but the window is closing, okay? So option one would be to relocate, So you could essentially move to Cyprus, Monaco, Malta, UAE, a huge global expat hub. You can still travel around the world, spend a proportion of your year in the UAE as a tax resident, right? There's obviously Southeast Asia, there's Latin America. Again, these options we can speak about in more detail. My details are below where if you haven't done so already, you can book a call with me for free. I don't charge like these other people on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber. I come on here to actually share some real value and essentially show you a lot of the secrets around the actual world, from tax to global structures to fintech to licensing to even residency programs, citizenship programs. We do a lot of these tasks, right, on behalf of our clients. So we do a lot of consulting around the world on an international level, right? So essentially, if you do stay in the UK, protect yourself. Don't keep all of the assets within the UK. Use international structures. There's trusts, there's foundations, there's offshore holding companies, and set up those foreign bank accounts to diversify those assets abroad as well. And secure the actual residences and citizenships outside of the UK to give yourself some options in the future, right? So this is exactly what we do at 4 Point Solutions. We're not a one-size-fits-all provider. We design custom international strategies for entrepreneurs, families, and businesses. So there's relocation programs, asset protection structures, offshore and onshore company formations, international banking and payments, and full compliance and execution within all of this. So whether you want to move fully or you just actually want to protect yourself while staying within the UK, essentially we can create that custom framework for you. Like I said before, it's not one size fits all. It's a custom tailored solution for you. So, I left early and I don't regret that for a second. And I have the freedom to choose where I live and how I structure my businesses and where I backed. If you're sitting in the UK, you're facing a massive fork in the road, essentially. you basically stay in risk being caught by new taxes, shrinking actual asset values, as we've seen with London recently on the high-end luxurious property market, and then limited options again. Or you can act now while you still have time to protect yourself. So even if you don't leave tomorrow, start building a plan B structure. So once the law changes, it's not too late, you know? So, you know, to conclude all of this, I left the UK in 2017 because I saw what's coming, and now it's here. Thousands and thousands of people are leaving every year for a bloody good reason. The UK is no longer tax friendly, no longer safe, and no longer business friendly, and it's not a British place as it even was. I don't want to go into that topic, but that's another topic right there as well we need to be speaking about and thinking about if you are living in the UK. So at FPS, 4-point solutions, again, we help design and implement the international strategies that you probably need, from relocation to tax planning to trust to banking and compliance. So if you are ready to actually protect your wealth, make a choice, you know, reach out to us actually directly. The link is in the description below. And if you haven't gone and actually subscribed to my channel, I guess that's what these YouTubers say, like, comment, subscribe, please go ahead and do so. And again, let's try and build a solution that actually works for you. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the actual video and introduced you a little bit more to myself on a personal note. XYZ. It's Friday here from Dubai, and over and out. I love you and leave you, and see you in the next video, guys.